The previous September, when Red Wolf returned to school to start grade 2, Crooked Ear had lingered again at the edge of the forest. After several days he seemed to understand that the boy was not coming back, so he turned his nose south and let instinct take him back to Clear Lake, where he was born. Seraph was not pleased to see his nephew, driving him away from the pack as before and allowing him to live only on the fringe, until Crooked Ear once again displayed complete subservience. The cold months passed, and finally the frozen lake began to thaw, and the wolves basked again in the sun on the granite outcrop high on the ridge. Seraph's second litter was born, and it was then that Crooked Ear's legs became restless, and he felt the urge to move on. When the trilliums faded on the forest floor and new leaves unfurled on the maples, he trotted away from Clear Lake, drawn once more to the place where instinct told him the boy would reappear. And there he waited. When the scent of the little upright drifted to his twitching nostrils, Crooked Ear yipped and quivered with excitement. Red Wolf, too, was overjoyed to see his friend again. When he nestled his face into the wolf's fur, the turmoil inside of him became still. But the boy's reunion with his parents did not have the same calming effect. In their presence he felt stirred up inside, and he behaved in ways that he didn't understand. It was as if he was a pot of stew boiling over the fire. Great globs spattered over the edge, burning whatever they landed on. His parents still called him Mishka Mayangun. It was Mishka Mayangun this, Mishka Mayangun that, until finally he blurted out, "Don't call me that. I'm George. Are you stupid? Why can't you remember it? Say it. Say George." He Who Whistles and Star Woman were speechless, their mouths agape, dismayed at the anger that spewed from their son's mouth along with the foreign words. He spelled out the name, George, George. There was no response. George continued his tirade, unable to stop. "Mr. Hall is right," he yelled. "You are all ignorant savages. There is no point in trying to teach you anything, because you'll always be stupid." The boy felt as though he was canoeing through white water, alone, without a paddle. He wanted to get out of the wild river, but he couldn't. It was running too fast, and he was being carried helplessly along. George looked into his mother's face and knew he had gone too far. Shame flooded him. It was even worse than the shame he felt every day at school. He ran from the cabin into the bush, unable to look at them another moment, wanting only to escape from the feelings that roiled inside him. Part of him wished that summer would last forever, but there was another part of him that wished it would be over right away. But as with everything else in his life, he had no control, and in due course hot days gave way to colder nights, and fingers of foreboding clutched his gut. He Who Whistles walked his son back to school. It was a sad procession of man, child, and wolf. Each walked silently, heavily, as though he had a great weight on his shoulders.